I am an Orthodox Jewish woman who does not cover my hair, and sometimes that can be really confusing for people. And I don't get offended by people who ask me why I don't cover my hair because I totally understand why you're asking the question. In Orthodox Judaism, there are a lot of married Jewish women who cover their hair, and there are also a lot who don't. At the end of the day, it's always a choice. Now, there are a lot of different opinions about hair covering and why some of us don't. So I don't always love to share my exact reason because I don't want other people who are Jewish to feel like they're going to stop covering their hair or they're not going to cover their hair because of my reason. I will say that I didn't grow up with the women in my life covering their hair. My mom never did. My grandmothers never did. My sisters don't cover their hair. My sister-in-laws don't cover their hair. So it's always something for me as a modern Orthodox Jew that I felt totally normalized with. Now, we all cover our hair when we go to synagogue out of respect for being in synagogue and with prayers and the Torah and all of that. So we do cover our hair there. But usually just like with a hat or like a little something on our heads, not like a full hair cover with a wig. And again, that is a personal choice. I know people who cover their hair full time, but there are different ways they cover their hair. Some fully cover all their hair. Some only do partial hair covering. Some wear a hat with their hair out. Some will wear a hat and then a wig underneath. Some wear scarves. Some will wear wigs. There's so many different ways to cover your hair. And none of them are the wrong way. The ruling to cover a woman's hair after she gets married comes from a story in the Old Testament of a woman who went to court and uncovered her hair. Now, all of it kind of comes from there, and you'll hear women talk about the holiness of their hair after they get married, or some feel like a queen when they cover their hair. And to those people, I say I respect you and I love that that's what you do, and I just choose not to do that. Technically, hair covering is not a Torah law. Does everyone who covered their hair respect me for not covering it? No, there are people who judge me. Their judgment is not my business, and it's not for me to care about. Because if they're worried about me and the way I'm living my life, then they're clearly not worried about other things in their own life that they could be working on. And I know it can be confusing because in the movies, as Orthodox Jews, women are always depicted a very specific way. Like modern Orthodox Jews do not exist in movies. I had this epiphany last year that there are people out there who don't even realize that modern Orthodox Jews like me exist, that I exist. And I know there are other people out there watching right now who are just like me who feel that same way. I hope that answered your question. I know it wasn't specific to the reason I do not cover my hair, but the main thing really for me is I didn't grow up that way. And this is where I feel comfortable right now in my life. And when my daughter gets married, if she chooses to cover her hair, that'll be amazing. And if she chooses not to cover it, that's fine too.